Is a confession getting closer? Fans point to receipts that spark new hope. Sometimes the loudest stories aren't told through words, they're told through moments, through timing, through the small details people almost overlook. And right now, fans believe those details, those Resibo, are slowly forming a picture involving Alden Richards and Maine Mendoza. No confirmations, no official statements, just observations, and a growing feeling that something might be getting closer. The Resibo that fans can't ignore. It started quietly, as most things do. A clip here, a mention there, a timing that feels just a little too perfect. Fans began collecting these moments, not as proof, but as pieces of a story they feel is unfolding. Subtle references that seem connected, posts that appear almost in sync, statements that reflect warmth and familiarity, timing that feels more than coincidence. Individually, they may mean nothing, but together, they create a feeling that's hard to ignore, a different kind of anticipation. Before, everything about Alden Richards and Maine Mendoza was loud, trending hashtags, viral moments, overwhelming reactions. Now it's different, quieter, softer, more thoughtful. Fans aren't rushing to conclusions. They're watching, they're observing, they're allowing the story to unfold naturally. And maybe that's what makes this moment feel more real than ever. Could a Pag-Amin be near? The question many are asking, gently, carefully, is this: could a Pag-Amin, confession, really be approaching? It's a beautiful thought, but it's also something that carries weight. Because a confession isn't just about confirming what people want to hear. It's about truth, timing, readiness. And both Alden Richards and Maine Mendoza have always chosen to move with intention rather than pressure. The power of silence. Interestingly, neither of them is feeding the noise. No hints, no denials, no dramatic reactions, just silence. But this kind of silence doesn't feel empty. It feels intentional. Because sometimes when something meaningful is building, it doesn't need to be announced right away. It simply grows, quietly, steadily, until the right moment arrives. Fans holding on, but gently. One of the most touching parts of this moment is how fans are reacting. There is hope, yes, but there is also respect. They're no longer demanding answers. They're not forcing a narrative. Instead, they're saying, if it happens, we'll be here. If it's true, we'll celebrate. If it's not, we'll still appreciate what was. And that kind of love, it's rare. More than just a love story. What makes this situation special is that it has never been just about romance. It's about connection, timing, growth, shared history. Alden Richards and Maine Mendoza represent something deeper than a typical showbiz pairing. They represent a moment in time that people still carry with them. And maybe that's why every small detail feels significant. What if the Resibo leads to something real? Maybe these signs are just coincidences. Maybe they're simply moments being interpreted through hope. Or maybe they are quiet steps leading towards something real. Because sometimes the most meaningful stories don't begin with announcements. They begin with feelings, with a sense that something is shifting, something aligning. Final thought. Not everything needs to be rushed. Whether a Pag-Amin truly happens or not, one thing is already clear. People are feeling something again. Not because they are being told to, but because something about the moment feels genuine. So instead of rushing to conclusions, maybe this is the time to simply watch, feel, and appreciate. Because if there is one thing Alden Richards and Maine Mendoza have shown over the years, it's this. The most meaningful moments don't happen when people demand them. They happen when the time is finally right. And maybe, just maybe, that time is slowly, quietly getting closer. When feelings speak louder than proof. And as the days go by, the Resibo continues to grow. Not necessarily in number, but in meaning. Because what fans are holding on to right now isn't just evidence. It's feeling. The kind of feeling that doesn't need to be explained. The kind that quietly settles in the heart and says, something is different. And somehow, when it comes to Alden Richards and Maine Mendoza, that feeling has always been enough. When little things start to mean everything, there's something beautiful about how even the smallest details now feel significant. A simple mention, a shared timing, a moment of reflection. Things that others might overlook. Fans notice. Not because they are searching too hard, but because they've learned the story so well they recognize its rhythm. And right now, that rhythm feels familiar again. Not loud, Not overwhelming, just quietly present. The kind of connection that doesn't fade. Time has passed. Paths have changed. Life has moved forward for both Alden Richards and Maine Mendoza. But there are connections that don't disappear with time. They don't weaken. They don't fade. They simply evolve. And sometimes they return in ways that are softer, deeper, and more meaningful than before. A love story, or something even greater? For years, people have tried to define what they share. But maybe the reason it's so special is because it doesn't fit into a single definition. Maybe it's not just a love story. Maybe it's a once-in-a-lifetime connection, a shared journey that changed millions, a bond built on timing, respect, and growth. And if a Pag-Amin ever comes, it won't just be about confirming feelings. It will be about honoring everything that led to that moment. The beauty of waiting without pressure. There is a calmness in the air now, a kind of patience that wasn't there before. Fans are no longer chasing answers. They are allowing things to unfold because they understand something important. Real things don't need to be rushed. If there is truth behind the Resibo, it will reveal itself. Not because people demanded it, but because it was ready. Silence that feels like something is growing. What makes everything even more intriguing is the silence from both sides. Alden Richards continues his journey with quiet focus. Maine Mendoza carries herself with grace and authenticity. No unnecessary noise, no forced narratives, just two individuals living their lives. And yet, somehow their names still find their way back to each other. Not loudly, but consistently. Fans finding peace in the possibility. This time, hope feels different. It's no longer desperate. It's no longer urgent. It's peaceful. Fans are smiling again. Not because something has been confirmed, but because something feels possible. And sometimes that's enough, because hope, when it's gentle, lasts longer. What if this is leading somewhere beautiful? Maybe these Resibo are just fragments. Maybe they don't lead to anything official. Or maybe they are small steps towards something bigger, something that doesn't need to be explained to be understood, something that doesn't need to be proven to be felt. Because when something is real, it finds its way, slowly, quietly, naturally. The heart knows what the eyes can't always see. At the end of the day, not everything can be captured in screenshots or timelines. Some things are felt beyond what can be shown. And that's what makes this moment so special. Because people aren't just reacting to what they see, they're responding to what they feel. And that feeling, it's familiar, it's warm, it's hopeful. Final continuation. If the moment comes, if the day ever comes when Alden Richards and Maine Mendoza finally speak their truth, whatever that truth may be, it won't just be a headline. It will be a moment, a quiet, powerful moment that reflects years of growth, years of understanding, years of connection that never fully disappeared. And maybe that's why fans are willing to wait. Not because they expect something, but because they believe that if it's meant to happen, it will. In the right time. In the right way, with the right meaning. One last gentle thought. Not every story needs to rush toward an ending. Some stories are meant to unfold slowly, to be felt in pieces, to be understood over time. And the story of Alden Richards and Maine Mendoza is one of those rare stories. So for now, let the Resibo remain as quiet hints. Let the feelings stay soft and sincere. Let the moment grow into whatever it's meant to be. Because sometimes, the most beautiful confessions don't come from pressure or noise. They come from a place of truth, spoken only when the heart is finally ready.